in the heroic battle between Alexander the Great and mighty Indian king Porus. Ultimately, Porus surrendered. According to a popular belief, among the numerous precious gifts presented by Porus, Alexander cherished the coveted Damascus sword the most. Such was the craze for Indian steel having global name and fame.
In ancient times, Indian-made wood steel was the preferred material for making swords and armor in the Middle East, Persia and Greece, even finding mention in Herodotus's memoirs. The rust-free iron pillar at Delhi, constructed by Chandragupta II, has withstood the ravages of time for over 1500 years. This pillar, used as a sundial to gauge the path of heavenly bodies, is a testimony to India's proficiency in molding this metal for productive use.
Modern steel making in India began in Bengal at Kulti in 1870, when James Erskine founded the Bengal Iron Works.
In 1901, the country's first iron ore mine was developed at Pansiraburu in Singhbhum district as part of Manoharpur ore mines and linked to Kulti.
Bengal Iron Works, the precursors of today's ISCO steel plant, pioneered steel making in India when it produced steel at Kulti in 1904 through the open hearth technology, using India's first open top blast furnace and coke oven battery.
Around the same time, Jamshedji Tata, an Indian businessman, heard Thomas Carlyle in London say that the nation which gains control of iron soon acquires control of gold. Inspired by Carlyle, Jamshedji decided to build a steel plant in India. However, his dream was not to see the light of day in his lifetime. It started taking shape in 1907 when Tata Steel was established, and steel production began at Sakchi, Bihar in 1912. Sakchi is today called Jamshedpur in memory of Jamshedji Tata.
Tata Steel today is 104 years old and perhaps 6th or 7th largest in the world. But its history is very interesting, and it had some sort of a pioneering and nation building spirit of our founder right from the beginning. He chose a perfect place in the history of steel making to make steel. If you imagine today, the Jamshedpur is situated between two rivers, so never a problem of water. The iron ore source was 130 kilometers away and the coal was about 150 kilometers away. And moreover, the market, which was Calcutta then, was about 200 kilometers away. So it was a perfect place for steel making.
A decade later, fired by nationalistic zeal, the visionary engineer and administrator Sir M. Visvesvaraya founded the Mysore Iron Works in 1923 at Bhadravati in Karnataka. This was later rechristened as Visvesvaraya Iron and Steel to honor its founder.
Despite these initiatives, at independence, India's annual steel production was a mere 1.25 million tons per annum.
The decisive step in taking India's steel industry forward to make the country self-reliant in steel production was taken by Jawaharlal Nehru in 1954.
Nehru prepared the public sector to spearhead India's emerging aspirations by forming Hindustan Steel and laying the foundation of Rourkela, Bhilai and Durgapur Steel Plant, followed by Bokaro Steel Plant.
In 1973, Hindustan Steel was renamed Steel Authority of India Limited, or SAIL, the company that for over 4 decades in post-independent India supplied the bulk of steel to create today's modern India. SAIL is today again at the forefront of India's expanding steel scenario.
Steel Authority of India has undertaken a massive expansion cum modernization program. The total cost of this expansion and modernization program is coming about 72,000 crore. It is at a very advanced level of implementation. This will enhance our capacity of the hot metal from 14 million ton per annum to 24 million ton per annum. We already placed orders worth about 60,000 crore and already expenditure of about 35,000 crore have been made.
Post-independence, 1991 was a defining year for the country as liberalization opened up markets. As in other sectors, a surge of investments poured into the steel sector as well.
Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited, JSW Steel, SR Steel, Jindal Steel and Power Limited and a host of other players joined in to supplement the efforts of SAIL and Tata to forge a strong nation.
It is the combined effort of these producers that India's annual steel production increased more than 4 times in the 2 decades since liberalization, from 15 million tons in 1992 to 66 million tons in the last fiscal. Today, India is among the top 5 producers of steel in the world.
Steel is the bedrock of an energetic and growing society. And a growing economy like India needs more and more of steel.
From the secure safety pin on a child's nappy, to modern cookware and household appliances, to aircrafts and ships, to industries and entertainment, we are surrounded by steel 24/7.
Steel has certain unmatched characteristics: longevity, strength and endurance, ease of fabrication for a variety of uses. Steel is the preferred medium for practically every modern need. Every marker of prosperity and growth bears the distinct stamp of steel.
The homes we live in use steel rebars for foundation and galvanized sheets for roofs. In civil construction, steel provides long column free spans, ensuring safety.
Steel structures also provide better protection against earthquakes, as steel reinforcement bars withstand tensile forces and have greater ductability. Easy to build, safe prefabricated houses of steel were built, and at an affordable cost, on a war footing soon after the disastrous earthquake in snow-clad Leh region of Jammu and Kashmir.
हमें स्टील हार्ट मिला सर पिछले साल, तो इससे हमें फ़ायदा हुआ सर। आइंदा कभी मतलब बाढ़ आएगा पानी का या भूकंप आएगा, जिससे हमारा फैमिली बचे सुरक्षित रहेगा।
Though calamities bring steel's comforting presence into sharp focus, its unobtrusive yet significant presence is felt in normal times as well. Steel-based rural infrastructure is transforming the quality of rural life by supporting irrigation initiatives. Dams, pipes and culverts, low-cost housing, school buildings, small bridges, electric and telephone poles, foot-over bridges, etc.
Steel bridges speed up the development in difficult terrains in remote areas, connecting rural population with the rest of the country and opening up opportunities like never before.
Transmission line towers of steel bring light into the life of millions in far-flung areas. Steel provides wheel, bearings and support to local means of transport in rural areas. Even bullock carts with steel components are more efficient with high load bearing capacity. Sturdy and efficient tools facilitate agricultural activity and minimize labor cost. Mechanized farming is also becoming possible due to steel.
Steel roofs in hilly areas being lightweight, low cost, providing safety and long durability.
A model steel village on the outskirts of Visakhapatnam is a proof of the possibilities of working with steel. A cluster of single-story houses built totally with steel provide all the comfort and convenience.
నా పేరు సత్యవతి. ఈ ఇల్లు ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత మాకు చాలా బాగుంది. ఫస్ట్ కచ్చా ఇంట్లో ఉండేవాళ్ళమే. ఈ ఇల్లు ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత మాకు చాలా బాగుంది. వర్షాకాలం కూడా, ఇంకా ఎండాకాలం కూడా, చలికాలం కూడా. వర్షాకాలంలో కూడా, చలికాలంలో కూడా బాగానే ఉంది. చాలా బాగుంది ఇల్లు. కట్టించిన వాళ్ళకి చాలా చాలా థ్యాంక్స్, స్టీల్ ప్లాంట్ వాళ్ళకి.
Even as steel silently transforms rural India, it is in cities that it makes its presence felt through its glitzy and awe-inspiring usage.
Skyscrapers, offices, factories, bridges, highways, roads, railways, ports and airports, and industries all take shape through steel.
We believe that by 2020-21, JSPL's total capacity, both at home and overseas, will be in the range of about 15 million tons. We are focusing a lot on developing applications out of the steel products. I'm happy to share that we are keeping a very close watch on the needs of the construction industry. We want to make this job simple. That is why we have introduced several products using steel, including speed floors. We have introduced RINL technology, whereby the construction period for the housing can be reduced dramatically. We have also introduced a new concept using steel structure, which we call as a light gauge structure, LGS concept. That is also helping us to reduce the total construction period by almost 75%. I think given India's need for housing and economic, housing, I think we believe we have a big role to play.
Over 50% of steel consumed goes into building infrastructure projects. Used as a structural component, steel enables faster project completion, saving costs.
The rapidly growing automobile sector heavily depends on various grades of steel. With the ongoing surge in automobile sector, steel consumption is also rising rapidly. Manufacturers of heavy machinery and tools in other industries all depend on steel.
The aspirations of Indians are now growing very fast, and everybody wants to own a car, everybody wants to own a house. The infrastructure on roads, on railways, all these infrastructure are really going to grow in a very big way, and all these things require a lot of steel. So therefore, I'm sure that India will be a very large consumer of steel, and that's why within JSW we have this joint venture with JFE, which brings in very high technology, especially for the flat products, where we want to produce cold roll products for the automobile industry to meet their growing requirements.
Not just residences, industrial and commercial buildings also take on an enticing look, with color-coated profile steel sheets that provide an aesthetic appeal even as they protect.
Barricading the nation from intruders or creating sturdy barriers in the form of invincible tanks, armored vehicles, aircraft carriers, submarines all display the strength of steel.
Tools that make modern technology and the technology itself all owe their existence to steel.
When man's fancy takes flight into space or within an atom, it is high-quality special steel that propels these streams forward.
Even as steel transforms lives, it is the human resource that makes steel what it is. And a growing industry needs a guiding hand that can support and facilitate the industry. With this objective, the Ministry of Steel established a non-profit member-based organization named Institute for Steel Development and Growth, or INSDAG, in 1998.
INSDAG over the last 1 decade has performed in various areas to promote consumption of steel. First of all, we had contributed in development of codes and standards for use of various varieties of grades of steel in different end using segments. Second, organizing a series of training programs, and till date we have nearly trained about 4,800 professionals, engineering college students, faculties, as well as other end users.
Operating from its headquarters at Kolkata, Instag maintains a close relationship and networking with steel giants and founder members. Steel Authority of India Limited, Tata Steel, JSW Steel, Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited, SR Steel, Jindal Steel and Power Limited, and of course the Union Ministry of Steel.
As a capacity building exercise, INSDAG provides quality training to teachers, students and professionals for awareness and skill upgradation.
Core activities of INSDAG are expanding applications of steel in different segments of industry, upgrading skill and technical know-how of personnel working in steel sector, and creating awareness amongst potential users by communicating benefits of steel over other competitive materials.
The Institute has drawn up an innovative strategy for the advancement of technology in steel usage, coupled with expansion of demand and market for the steel fraternity. Initiated a skill-cum-entrepreneurship development program to set up steel fabrication facilities in rural areas.
Steel, one small word, but its various uses demand various kinds of steel. More than 3,500 varieties of steel in terms of structure, quality, chemical composition and size serve various purposes, including high-end specialized applications, and is called by various names. Each serve its own set of specific applications. A few examples illustrate the point. Nitro van steel plates have been developed for ATM machines. CRV 110 UTS rails enable high-speed rails for dedicated freight corridor to ensure that goods reach us in time. Especially crafted thin-gauge, high-strength hot roll coils go into making LPG cylinders. One substance, endless possibilities.
Not surprisingly, India consumed 66 million tons of steel in 2011. But the appetite grows, naturally, since it corresponds to a mere 52 kilograms of annual consumption per person, a far cry from the 240 kilograms per person consumed in the developed countries. The scene in rural India is still dismal, just 4 kilograms per person annually.
India today has a production of 60.6 million tons during 2010 and 11 and stands at the fourth largest producer in the world and is striving to attain the second position in the year 2015-16.
India today boasts of modern steel plants with latest technology. Today, steel made in India can match the best in the world. In fact, India has emerged as a net exporter of steel. This a reflection of Indian steel's acclaim and acceptance in the global market.
With robust backup of conducive policies, enabling environment, modern technologies and institutional mechanisms, the steel industry is poised like never before to catapult India into the big league.
Thanks to the impetus provided by such a well-crafted vision document and the government's commitment to make it a reality, India's steel production aims to touch the 200 million tons mark by 2020. It is not without reason that industry experts are upbeat on steel and see India emerging as the second largest steel maker by 2020.
A steel plant, unlike any other industry, employs a large workforce. The upsurge in the steel sector and the massive investments pouring in ensure not just availability of more steel but more employment as well, and its beneficial ripple effect on society.
RINL produces about 2-3 million ton of various section of long products, and at the moment we are expanding our capacity to 6.3 million ton. We have already completed physical work and commissioning activities have started and likely to start production within 3-4 months.
Similar initiatives are being taken up by every major and small player across. even as India's largest blast furnace is being commissioned at Burnpur in Bengal. Hazira on the western coast has emerged as India's largest and world's fourth largest single location flat steel plant.
Be it RINL, SAIL, Tata, SR, JSW, JSPL, or the various foreign firms that are gearing to scale up capacity, all look forward to contributing to society by boosting a sector that sustains multitudes.
A large number of ancillary industries emerge in the vicinity of a steel plant. Steel plant townships across the country are examples of transformation touched by the magical steel wand.
Likewise, steel markets help the emergence of select industries in small towns. Ludhiana and Sonipat have emerged as leading hub for manufacture of steel components for the automobile industry, consuming a major chunk of steel production and becoming major stakeholders in the success saga of steel in the country.
Steel companies on their part are not just increasing capacity but are also working on making their products more useful, affordable, convenient and durable. To maintain an uninterrupted and hassle-free supply chain, steel companies have created huge warehouses across the country, including difficult terrains and remote areas. This is a unique initiative for enhancing and improving use of steel in rural and distant areas.
The corporate social responsibility of the Indian steel plants is legendary. The commitment to society that was the hallmark of Tata Steel and the SAIL plants is today being taken up by every steel producer. These initiatives have provided a fillip to the socio-economic development of the area.
To have sustainable operations, we have focused on all our stakeholders, making sure that all our stakeholders are satisfied, including the surrounding communities. We concentrate on CSR activities in all the areas that we operate, from health to education, taking care of their various needs depending on the various areas we operate.
Development ought to be sustainable, and it can be so only when environmental concerns are duly dealt with. Steel, being 100% recyclable and environment-friendly material, provides an edge over other competitive materials.
New technologies enable steel companies to further safeguard society by building zero-effluent steel plants. Environment-friendly disposal of wastes and effluents is done. Steel companies are making concerted efforts towards environment conservation and sustainable development. Efficient use of diminishing raw material is a key concern, and steel industry is working towards enhancing energy efficiency by installing technologies that minimize use of water, energy, coal and minerals.
Challenges of future demand solutions for newer applications of steel, value-added variants of customized needs for creating energy, water and raw material saving production process. This is where R&D centers are striving hard to find solutions. Centers with world-class, state-of-the-art facilities have come up in different parts of the country with specialized expertise. A strong linkage with market demand and steel plants is the driving force for these centers.
Even marketing of steel is taking on a different dimension as touch points. Steel exclusive shops and exclusive dealers shops have started emerging. Exclusive shops where customers handle, touch and feel steel and understand its utility better. These are providing customers of steel an altogether new experience.
The future is forged with ideas. To tap the future of the steel industry, NSTAG organizes a national competition every year for students for the best innovative use of steel in architecture to promote youth talent of the nation. Graduate and postgraduate students of architecture from across the country participate in the competition, which has zonal and final rounds. Amazing innovations come up during these competitions.
इस्पात है शक्ति, इस्पात है प्रगति, इस्पात से है नया दौर, हम बढ़े प्रगति की ओर, झूले विकास का छोर, हम बढ़े प्रगति की ओर, झूले विकास का छोर।
This is the future.
A future of steel in India.
An area where INSDAG is actively involved. Tireless efforts are on.
And the resounding saga of success continues.
When I moved into this world,
Had my first morsel,
took my first uncertain step,
rode out a new path,
as my circle widened,
and reach increased,
when I became aware of my potential,
achieved my small goals,
prepared for the bigger ones,
as friendship turned to love,
as I learned to shoulder responsibilities,
learnt to care,
set out on new quests,
kept my faith,
expanded my horizons,
and declared, "Here I come." You have been with me all through.
Steel with you all through.
ఈ వీడియో మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే లైక్ చేయండి, మీకు తెలిసిన వారితో షేర్ చేయండి. ఇలాంటి వీడియోస్ మరిన్ని చూడటానికి మన ఛానల్కి సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి. పక్కనే ఉన్న బెల్ ఐకాన్ క్లిక్ చేసి ఆల్ నోటిఫికేషన్స్ సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోండి.